everyone, this is the Gears of Steam podcast, where we talk about all the weird and wonderful things within the steampunk and sci-fi genres. I'm your host, Raven Ashmore, engineer and scientist, and this is the March 4th special. I am here with Sergeant Dutch from the Army of Toy Soldiers. Hello, good sir.
Greetings, comrade!
So, can you tell us how the Army of Toy Soldiers began?
In 2006, Sergeant Cato founded ToySoldiersUnite.com. It was to be the digital bunker for the Army of Toy Soldiers in their efforts to support the musician Dr. Steele. With forums, chat room, propaganda, and all kinds of things. That's how we pretty much got started. Before that, there were, groups and memberships and so forth on various sites around the internet, but ToySoldiersUnite.com was the first time we all coalesced in one cohesive army.
I see. So, today is the March 4th, and a lot of Toy Soldiers will know what March 4th is, but can you please explain what is March 4th about?
March 4th is our birthday, essentially. It's our 10-year birthday now. It is about having fun above all else. All year round, we tend to, plan invasions and missions and infiltrations and so forth. However, on March 4th, we take a moment to just have fun ourselves for what we want to do, and that is essentially what we do all year round, but March 4th particularly, because we have to celebrate what it is that makes us toy soldiers. And what makes us toy soldiers is our innate ability to have fun, no matter the situation. Creativity, imagination, having fun. These are pivotal things on Toy Soldier Day. And we celebrate this by doing invasions and whatnot, and sharing all kinds of things online with each other, thanks to the marvels of the internet.
So, what range of things can people do to celebrate March 4th?
Well, like I said, we do invasions and so forth year round, but March 4th is particularly our forte, so to speak. It's become tradition over in the States to invade Disneyland or Disney World, depending on which side of the country you're on. And this year is no different. I do know of a contingent of toy soldiers that are meeting up in Disneyland on the West Coast. I'm not so sure about Disney World on the East Coast because, well, they tend to be all over the place, and it is a bit harder to get to. That's the downside of America. You're all so spread out that you can't really easily meet up with each other unless you're living in the same town or city, and even then, it could take an hour to get from one end to the other, if not more. In Europe, on the other hand, we tend to coalesce on London, and this Saturday is no different. We are going to be going to the Namco arcade because, well, it's an arcade. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, the other thing is, meeting up is one thing we do, but you have to remember that, like I said, everyone is spread out all over the world. So, that's where the internet comes in very handy, because we have digital meetups. We basically coalesce, we basically meet up in the digital bunker, the forums and a live chat. People can go on game servers, as long as they're whitelisted, because, we still have some issues. But it's all about having fun, just sharing experiences and doing what you enjoy. And if it is spending 48 hours just gaming, playing Minecraft or any other kind of game, so be it.
Nice. So, have you found that the Army of Toy Soldiers has evolved a lot over the last 10 years?
Oh yes, most definitely. We have very much evolved from our initial beginnings as a street team and fan club. And that was a good part of the first few years of ToySoldiersUnite.com. We supported our musician, but bought the merchandise, told people about him, and to be honest, we were extremely effective because to this day people still associate Dr. Steele with us and us with him. However, what has changed over the years is the army itself. And a lot of people say, oh, it's just not the same as it used to be. However, this is an obvious statement because nothing stays the same forever. We all evolve as a person, as a society, and in this case, as an army. So, one of the things that has changed, obviously, is 5 years ago, Dr. Steele retired. And Commander Jet and myself basically stood up and said, we'll take care of the army, we'll keep going. And we have since then. And we have moved our focus from focusing on one musician to several musicians, in fact, to several artists, the toy soldiers themselves. Because within the army of toy soldiers, we've got a huge range of talent. We have musicians, we have artists, writers, engineers, hackers, builders, creators, all kinds of creative endeavours inspired by each other, as well as what we've done before. So I like to think that we have evolved into a much larger organism, so to speak.
Yeah. Can you give us a few examples of what the Army of Toy Soldiers has done in the last 10 years?
Well, that is actually quite a bit to go over. I'll mention the most notable things. One of the ones early on was the toy drive, which was handled by Toy Soldier Crazy, if I'm correct. That was over in the States. The Disneyland invasions, those are infamous throughout our history. More recently, however, there's the Gaming Marathon, which has evolved from initially Engineer Airhead playing Minecraft for 48 hours to what will be next month a huge gathering online managed by Lieutenant Sophie, Airhead, and Silent Adol, all in an effort to raise money for charity. And we already have raised over $250, and we haven't even started yet. So that is, I think, at the moment, our crowning achievement. But there are other things that I think have been rather brilliant over years, and that is our innate ability to get everywhere. Now, if you go to a Comic-Con, a gig, or anything like that around the world, well, mostly in the Western nations, sooner or later, you will come across another toy soldier. You will see the smiling face of our logo bearing down upon you. And then all you need to do is utter 3 words. Toy soldiers unite. And you have an instant friend in the person you've just met. Another example would be invading Professor Elemental's music video, I'm British. That was thanks to JDUK, Private Morglum, Brigadier Ian Davis, and several other toy soldiers. Apologies, I don't remember everyone's name at the moment. And that has been good fun because Professor Elemental basically asked, I need a bunch of people to come have a picnic with me in this field. And lo and behold, at least amongst all the steampunks and weird people of the UK, about a dozen toy soldiers turned up to have a good laugh. And it was brilliant, and we've remained good friends with Professor Elemental ever since. I'm pretty sure you actually interviewed him recently.
Yes, that's right. It was good fun. Is there anything you wish to see the Army of Toy Soldiers do in the next few years?
Oh yes, most definitely. I'd love to see the Army of Toy Soldiers create a game. A game all around the world, like a massive online RPG. So basically we have a digital bunker again, from which to invade the world. But more importantly, it'll be a tool to inspire others. I'd love to see that. We did make an attempt a year or two ago with making a movie. There was a lot of heart behind it and a lot of dedication, but unfortunately things didn't transpire as we wanted to. As is the case, no plan ever survives impact with the enemy, and in our case, enemy tends to be boredom and procrastination, and writer's block. Writer's block is terrible. But one of the best things I would love to see us do is inspire others. If we can inspire others in the world, we are doing good. We are effectively brainwashing people. We're brainwashing them with their own ideas, but that's how inspiration works. And it would be fantastic if, someone actually decided, hey, do you want a giant bunker underground? Yes, with missiles, and an airship, UFOs. Yes, please.
Yeah, I know. It would be great. I think it's about time we should learn a little bit more about the Army of Toy Soldiers. On a previous podcast, the first one to be precise, we barely got into the backstory of this community. There's a lot about the Army of Toy Soldiers that I have barely scratched the surface about. For example, I've known this for a while, but I still find it difficult to understand. I've heard that the digital bunker is part physical, at the same time part digital. Now, I'm trying to wrap my head around this, but it's not quite working.
Understandable. It is quite a complicated process in which the digital bunker exists. In fact, even just staring at it alters its state.
Okay. Can you explain this a little further?
Well, here's the thing. It has a lot to do with quantum reality, quantum engineering, and quantum bits. You see, the digital bunker is in a space between both the virtual and the real. It is underground. It is somewhere in the world. And at the same time, it is a digital manifestation. It is a website. However, at any given point, it exists somewhere. But it's never somewhere. Not in one place. It's in a state of quantum flux, one might say, powered by the Quantum Virtual Reality Enabler Server System. Lovely combination of engineering and code monkeys being let loose on archaic machines. But it is, suffice to say, able to transport us via its many hallways and corridors to destinations that we need to reach. Sometimes random. There was that time I popped out for a smoke and ended up in the middle of the Sahara Desert. That was fun. But it does enable invasions to take place and infiltrations. And sometimes people do just stumble in by accident and get lost. That is the other thing I should mention. Because of the quantum and virtual nature of the digital bunker, we're not exactly sure how big it is. We've explored it from our central area, and we have got warehouses, we have underground shelters, bunkers, quarters, mess halls, laboratories, engineering departments, water filtration, energy creation, and I think a nuclear reactor somewhere. I lost that recently. We've got holes, we have virtual chambers to simulate real life or, the world. And of course, there's TSU HQ, the central point. We tend to be the managerial point of the digital bunker. We can coordinate, we can organise and distribute resources as necessary. As my office and Commander Jet's office, and we're assisted by Robot 1001 and Robot 1002. And unfortunately, like I said, it is a infinitely large bunker. Some corridors go on for miles, and we have even lost divisions who have gone exploring. I'm sure they're out there, and they're doing fine. The digital bunker tends to provide, be it in the form of hot dogs for some reason. But thankfully we also have the robots to help maintain the bunker, because, we are a 4,000 strong army, but even us, we get lost in this bunker. So, we tend to stick to the central areas, and everyone can get a department of their own.
Yes, yes. I have visited the bunker once or twice. I tend to stay to the main areas. It's a little bit scary to venture off. Anyways, now I am confused by this, but can you explain what drop bears are?
Ah, the drop bears. Ah, I love those little buggers. They were discovered initially by Apothecary Chrysalis in a lab somewhere in the digital bunker. I can't exactly remember where. Toy soldiers, I salute you. Sergeant Dutch, out. Very tough. As in, explosion proof. We found that they worked best when deployed from cannons, and I've made it my own personal part of my armory to always have a drop bear cannon. Now, Apothecary Chrysalis tends to be the main caretaker of them, and they tend to be cloned, but there are a few odd ones out. Her favourites, I believe, even though she insists that all the red, sticky liquid on their clothes and mouths and everywhere is in fact jam. And I'm not sure if I want to believe her or not. All I know for certain is, yeah, they're vicious little buggers.
I see. Yeah, I thought they were quite adorable, but I tend to stay away from anything that is an animal. I'm more of a machine person. But anyways, enough about my ramblings. I shall let you have your moment where you get to talk to the audience. I do this for every podcast, but I just want to let you have your moment again. So, I shall shut up now and let you carry on.
Ladies, gentlemen, people of non-specific genders or everywhere in between, and various species, and primate. Just the one primate. I know who you are, Conundrum. I would like to wish you all a very happy Toy Soldier Day. Go out there and have fun. Do what it is that you love the most. Because that is what the Army of Toy Soldiers is about. That is what Toy Soldier Day is all about. Having fun. The future is a huge potential of humanity. And we need that imagination, that creativity, that burns in every one of us. We need that as a tool, as a lifeguard to help us overcome the boredom that we will face. There will be robots everywhere, artificial intelligence, and a virtual reality indistinguishable from actual reality. The singularity will help us and be our greatest challenge at the same time. So, have fun, because this is training for the future.
Hello, this is Raven here. I know it's the end of the podcast, but just before you go, I want to say a few things. Firstly, I want to thank the Sergeant Judge for coming on to the podcast again. It's a delight having him on, and I'm very humbled that he would take time out of his day to be here, especially at such a busy time. Also, I want to thank everyone who has previously been on the podcast and taking time out of their busy schedules to be on such a small and humble podcast. James thought it would be a good idea making this podcast because he says I'm a little bit of a workaholic. I know I'm an introvert, I can't help it. So socializing in this way, it makes it exciting for me. Anywho, why I'm here is because I wanted to thank you all for listening to the podcast. I am greatly joyed to know that a lot of you who listen enjoy hearing my ramblings as well as meeting some really awesome guests. Also, one more thing, or two, I believe. I am going to be posting a special video where I talk about myself and about how I met the toy soldiers and stuff. It's very much associated with toy soldiers because of March 4th. And also, I just want to let you know for the future updates, the game streamers that will be streaming on the charity marathon that Dutch mentioned will be on my podcast later this month to basically promote the event. And I will be there in spirit at the event because unfortunately I could not stream due to the fact my computer may be a little bit broken. I may be clever, but I'm not that clever to fix something like this. Anyways, it's modern technology is not in my field. Anyways, enough of me rambling on that. I also want to say that April, let's just say a few of the guests make April a little bit, let's say, evil. Yes, that's right. Hopefully, I will be having Dr. Holocaust from Evil Incorporated, who will basically be on our podcast. Yes, the man, the super villain himself will be here. And hopefully I will have a few people, a matchup of a villain and hero on soon. That is if they're free from doing villainous deeds and doing from heroic deeds. But I will have to continue talking to them. That's all I can say before I go. I can't disclose any more, but anyways, I hope that you all enjoy this podcast and have a happy March 4th. Enjoy it. Fun is the top priority for this day, and I hope that you all have a good time. Anyways, this is Raven Ashmore, engineer and scientist, signing out. And I salute to you all.